Forever. Dog.
You know how lesbians get the thing where they're like, people ask them if they're sisters or if they're friends?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I got a different one. Me and my girlfriend got, are you brother and sister or are you friends? There you go. It was really
They're
funny.
like, this girl couldn't possibly be dating this little twink. This little piece of
Yes.
this dinky little dude here.
Is this your little brother?
This has got to be your brother.
That's hilarious.
Mac, I like your bomber.
Thanks, it was my dad's.
Oh my God, it's so cute. I love it. I like that you're reclaiming your dad's toxic.
My dad's Bill.
Oh, of course he is.
I'm reclaiming.
What is that bomber jacket from?
It's from when he was in college. He was like a assistant. He's a PT, so he like,
Your dad's a physical therapist?
yeah. Well, he's an athletic trainer and a physical therapist.
I never would have. Mac, tell me if I'm overstepping. Hello, welcome to Chosen Family Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here.
But your dad is like homophobic.
Yes.
So it's hard for me to think about him.
Mac's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
It's hard for me to like think about him massaging an young athlete's like thigh.
So here's my thing. I think that
Tell us.
sports are one of the safe zones for
Male
very homophobic
intimacy.
people.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Oh.
one of the only things that... Oh, wait, I think we're on different page.
Yeah, we took that in different directions. Sorry.
That's, like, one of the safe things, because when you watch sports... My dad doesn't watch, like, anything besides sports, because anything else...
Gay.
He finds
Potentially
something
gay.
that he has a problem with.
Right. There'll be a
Yeah.
sex
With,
scene
like, as far as religion.
or just like, you know, some.
Actually, we watched The Sound of Music last night.
No.
Sound of Music didn't pass. Like,
Why?
it has to be sports. Because
This is a
I said
very-
something about I thought they were Jewish. They're not Jewish.
Okay, so the movie did not pass. You didn't pass.
He never passes. He finds something in every movie.
Wait, what's wrong with Jews in a movie? I don't understand what's wrong with. Wait,
well,
why
they're
is your
not
dad
Christians.
not?
They're not doing it the right way.
So wait, what if it's not explicitly stated? Does your dad just like choose to believe that in every movie where it's not explicitly stated they are heterosexual and Christians?
This is a trauma dump. Okay, when I used
Trauma
to come
dump.
home from elementary school,
We consent.
he would have me go to like the Christian after school things. You know what I'm talking about? Like they have
Yeah.
like Christian groups after school. He'd have me go to that. And then I would get home and he would start asking me a bunch of questions about it. And I would get so nervous because if they were doing Christianity wrong, then I would get in trouble. Like it would be this thing where it's like, that's not real Christianity. Like you can't be listening to that kind of shit. And I'm like,
You've now participated in devil worship because you
Yes.
did the wrong Christianity.
Man,
I
the one thing that I am like, oh my God, thank you. Ironically, there's no God in my life. There's no God in my mom's family. There's no God in my dad's family. Like it is just totally any God is like new. Like I have relatives in
Yeah.
the South and they're Jewish and they're Christian. It's just the irony is just like whatever. So they're all Jews. What? Okay, I can't.
No, but what's wild is before I moved, so I moved to BC 6-7 years ago. Like I was in 2016, I moved to BC. Before that point, I swear I hadn't met people who didn't grow up religious.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I hadn't met people who actually were untouched by religious trauma or who were untouched by religion from childhood.
that's
That
still
was
like
that
an
was a
anomaly in my
novelty.
brain.
Yeah, when
I can't
when I
believe that.
meet people like your dad, I'm always like, wait, you're joking.
Actually, you wouldn't meet
you're
my dad.
like you're doing a bit.
When Ashley goes in for PT with your dad,
I'm like, my sacrum's too flexible and I need it to be a little more. I just need you to tighten things up for my lesbian sex, please.
yeah, for all of the gay sex that I'm having, Bill.
But so here's something interesting. As you know, I was Carnival Cruise Line's first openly gay performer. Let's go watch my
Also a
special.
camp counselor, jury
But
goddess.
but when I'm gonna try and make this story as quick as possible, but They put me out of the first cruise that I did was out of Galveston, Texas, because that's the easiest cruise for comedians because they laugh at the dumbest shit. But for me, I was like, I don't think this is going to work for me. Like, please put me out of LA or Miami or New York. And they were like, no, this is the easiest and it's your first time. I was like, motherfucker, okay. And I would get up there, I'd say I was gay. And no matter when I said I was gay, a third of the audience would like stand up and leave the room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy
And it was my
shit.
first time encountering that. I mean, most people don't encounter that, but they have the feeling of growing up in an environment like that. And it was the first time for me. And I was like, oh my God, these people are real. And one of them sat down and
Was Mac's dad, everybody.
exactly. One of them sat down with me at breakfast. And this was a really moving thing that happened to me. But we had this long conversation. He told me that my life was an abomination and like all this stuff. And I was like really calm. And I was just like super like, you know, really talking to him. Turns out his brother was gay and came out at 56. And, you know, that's what this is really about. It has nothing to do with me. But I said to him I was like, well, what about homosexuality in nature? Have you read anything about that? Like that, you know, penguins don't have a choice of whether or not to be gay. Sometimes they're just gay. And he goes, you believe that shit? Like this man who believes that all the animals were put in a boat for a flood
Yeah.
says to
Just
me,
2 of them. Just one of each.
right,
And they've repopulated.
right, and he said to me, he thinks that there are gay people in the media making up stories about gay penguins to like and I'm like, oh my God, like I can't even have a conversation with you because our baseline realities are not the same.
Not the same.
Yeah.
Not the same.
Wild.
Good.
It
Lord.
is.
That's why I just stopped having conversations with my dad at all. Because when we would have conversations, I'm serious, it would just come back to, he would
Like
go, well,
Sound
it's
of
just,
Music and
it's
Sound
the
of Music
principle
only.
of the matter. And I would be
Oh,
like, what
God.
the fuck does that mean? Like, that's,
cop-out.
in my
Yeah.
mind, that became him telling me that I won. Because
Yes.
there's
Yes.
nothing else for him to say.
Yes.
What
I'm
a
like, if you
reframe.
have to, if you have to revert back to no argument, it's just the way it is vibes. I'm like,
Because I said so.
sir,
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I schooled your ass, son, dad.
Have you let him know that? Do you think your dad secretly watches your content?
Well, he found out I'm gay from my YouTube popping up on his recommended ?
Oh, is your dad gay? Wait, you came up on your dad's algorithm?
Yeah. Well,
That's
here's
pretty
what I
gay,
did.
bro. Bro,
Sus.
that's a little sus.
So sus.
I think maybe my little brother was supporting and watching on the family computer and got a little pop up. But that's super fun. So
No, I think that the listeners should take that in any conversation that, because there's probably so many people that have these exact round and round we go conversations with their family, loved ones, church people, whatever, where it's like when they say something like that, you just go, I won.
yeah. You
When they
can't
say
waste
something
your
like-
energy.
yeah,
it's
it's the
never gonna
principle.
end.
You guys
the
are
thing.
really
Never
different
gonna
than I
end.
am. I will never win until I am told explicitly that I am correct. You guys
See,
are
but
healthy.
That's
you
your
also-
principle.
and that's, you didn't grow up religious,
Right, I have the
you
fight
have
left in
that
me.
luxury, yeah, exactly, to be like, I'll do this until I win.
Yeah.
Ashley,
Until I
when did you
explicitly
stop? When did you stop experiencing like that third of the room getting up and leaving? Did that only happen in Texas?
It was really market dependent, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, okay.
And things
Do you still?
Well, I'm not a cruise comedian anymore, thank God. Thank you very much. Patreon.com/chosenfamilypodcast. I'm not a cruise comedian anymore, so no, I don't. But then I explicitly was like, well, a lot of the comedians don't like doing the New York or the LA markets because those markets are in competition with real comedy. So the people doing the cruises go to see some of the best comedy in the world. So
That makes sense.
I was like, please put me in those markets because I do better there. But to be perfectly honest, it did make me a better comedian because it wasn't even that I changed it started getting better and better. And I think it was totally like an attitude shift
Right.
more than a material shift because everyone had a fucking opinion on how I should handle myself. Like people were like, why don't you wait 10 minutes into your set to say that you're gay? Maybe if they like you, You know, because like people are good, and if they like you, they'll accept it.
You win them over.
Right, exactly. As
Love the sinner, hate the sin.
right. It's like
Flip it
I'm
on
sorry.
them.
Did decades of Ellen DeGeneres not fix this problem for them? I don't think that I'm gonna like 10 minutes of me versus decades of Ellen DeGeneres is gonna like fix this issue. But
Well, and you had to, in that moment, you had to decide, I don't want them to like me. Like,
Yes.
that's not my priority.
Exactly.
Is to make them, my priority is not to coddle their feelings and their bigotry to the point that they won't get up and
I started
leave.
commenting on it. Like when people would leave, I'd be like, "Yeah, get the fuck out! Like, don't let the door hit you. Fuck off!" Like, because it was an X-rated show, I was allowed to say whatever I wanted because being gay is X-rated on Carnival Cruise Line. It's not even R-rated; it's X-rated.
Oh, and on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube as well. Demonetized.
Yeah, I mean, well, it just heightens the level of sensitivity. It's like whatever you're talking about, people are uncomfortable with gayness. So it heightens whatever. It's a multiplier on whatever else you're saying. If you're gay and angry, you're really angry. You know? And being a woman
absolutely.
is a multiplier, another thing. And being black is another multiplier.
Person of color,
you know what I mean? Like, it's
absolutely.
just like, it's crazy. So, but once I started not giving a fuck, fewer people left. I think in a weird way, it was almost like what got Donald Trump elected. They were like, this dyke says what she thinks.
right.
She speaks her mind.
I love the honesty.
Then suddenly they like you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was interesting. It made me a better comedian for sure. It was where like
that.
angry. My whole career, I was like, be palatably gay. Be fun. Like, keep it fun for them.
Fun gay.
And then when I was like, no, fuck you. That's
Yeah.
when I really became the comedian that I am.
No, that absolutely. Like, and I think that Mac, you can probably relate to this. I can relate to it in our own maybe softer way because I'm not exactly a
What are you saying?
but like I had to decide that I didn't care whether or not I was palatable in order to leave my 10-year relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Walk away from an engagement, walk away from a wedding, walk away from everything that everybody expected of me. That was my way of deciding whether or not I was palatable. And look at now. Look at how things have gone.
Yeah.
Like, in my own way, I've become the best version of myself because of that.
Yeah.
Mac, I'm
And
sure
you know what? Like, when I went to make thirst traps, I was like, I'm going to do this my way.
No, but
Yes,
you are,
I'm
Mac,
going to
you
do this. I
are.
don't give a fuck if this is palatable. I'm going to take my shirt off. And you're just going to
crop
sit there and
tops
you're going to
all
like it.
day.
And boy, do they like it.
And boy, yeah, look at you now.
You know, Mac, well, first of all, I do think you do it in your own way. With your little crop tops, your little mask crop tops.
My little mask crop top.
And you don't the gender like stuff doesn't get you down. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you
no.
are doing it your own way. Also,
Yeah, I think you're right.
Separately, really off topic, but Mem Babes and I were talking. This is really deteriorated. If Main Babes
It
and
always
I
hits me like so suddenly.
Babes, Main Babes and I were talking, and we were like, if we could have a baby together, it would look like Mac.
Oh my god, it totally would.
That's so flattering.
It totally would.
Yeah. It's weird
Wow.
because like you look
That's a compliment to all three of you.
you look like her mom. You look so much like my man Bab's mom. It's like, and then it looks like her. Like you do certain things, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm in love with you. You are very
Like,
good.
I was-
Guys, stop.
Like, you just have a nice face. Like, I was
Guys,
thinking
stop it. I'm
this,
gonna
I think
blush.
today when you posted asking for questions for this recording. And before that, you had posted something, I don't know what you were talking about. You were recording yourself. And I remember looking.
My
I was
eggs.
your eggs. And I
Which
was
we'll
watching
talk
it,
about.
And I was watching it, and I was thinking.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about it. Yeah.
We're talk about your eggs, Mac. And I was watching it, and I was thinking, she's got no filter on. Your lighting was crap. No offense. How does your face look that nice? Still,
Thank you.
nobody's
That's really
face
sweet.
looks nice when the light is just coming from one side and the shadows are hitting all funny, except yours.
You guys are really sweet. Thank you.
So,
I think it's been trained.
You are very
That's
good
not
at
how
it.
that works. You can't train your face
No.
to look good in bad lighting. That's not.
You can train
not
your face.
possible.
You can train your face.
To look good in bad lighting? I don't think
First
so.
of all, this is what
And we're
models
selling
do.
a course about it. If you want your face to look good.
Patreon.com/chosenfamilypod.
Okay, but you can train your face. I trained my eyebrows about 6 years ago.
Wait, are you being serious? I was kidding.
No, but you can train your face, of course, to like make or not make certain facial expressions. But like, you can't. If the lighting is hitting me a certain way, I can't change my bone structure.
Sure, but you have beautiful.
Listen,
bone
we all
structure.
have bad angles.
Not you,
That's not
apparently.
true. That is not true.
I think I'm hot as fuck. All right,
You are hot as
So
fuck.
let's should we talk about Max?
Wait, can we
eggs?
talk about the eggs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Guys,
Talking about
Jesus
the egg-
Christ.
I wasn't changing. I was just saying, can we talk about your eggs?
I'm feeling so gaslit by the internet. I had so much trouble making hard-boiled eggs yesterday. I had so much trouble. Okay, I clicked on the first thing that popped up when I Googled it. I followed the instructions. Exactly. Mostly exactly.
That's not how it exactly works.
There's like
That's actually not how the
there's, like,
word exactly works.
2 instructions though, right? Boil water, put egg in. There's 3. Boil water,
That's what I thought.
put
Is
egg
there salt
in.
involved?
No.
No, I put
Take it out.
put egg in and then I put egg in water, let water boil. It was like almost boiling. Like it was about to boil. It wasn't quite boiling, but like it was gonna boil.
It wasn't a rolling boil.
You have to start
No,
with
it was
a
just
boil.
it was a whisper of a boil.
No, you have to start
Okay,
with
wrong.
a boil.
Okay, well it doesn't matter. I did it another time. I re-boiled my eggs.
You boiled them
And they
twice?
still if
Wait,
I
the
could show you guys
same
my
egg- the
DMs
same
right now.
eggs?
Do you know how many opinions people have about eggs?
The thing is, Mac, you can't re-boil them. You need to start with new eggs. You don't know what chemically is going on there. And once you're done boiling them, you need to get them into cold water immediately to get them to separate from the shell. If you're going to
That I did.
cold water,
But they just weren't cooked.
they
I
were.
had wet eggs.
Man, even the eggs are sliding out of their chair for Mac.
Danny, put in a trigger warning for wet egg
eggs.
discussion.
For vegans.
That's all I have to say about eggs. How are you guys?
I make soft-boiled eggs a lot.
Guys, we can stop talking about eggs. It's okay.
No, I think
I wish we could solve it for you. I think that the problem was that you double boiled.
The double boil is definitely
boil was the
yeah.
mistake.
I think
So-
the problem
so-
is that I need a wife that can make my eggs.
Okay, Bill.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I mean,
You
look.
need a wife to handle your eggs with care.
Aw,
Yes.
that's sweet.
Yes, I do. Before they expire.
Speaking of expired eggs, mine are about to go bad, and I gotta get to the doctor immediately. This is on my to-do list.
Yes.
Before the pandemic, I was like, I'm gonna freeze my eggs. I went in. I went to the doctor. The doctor was like, your uterus is beautiful. I was like, thank you. He was like, you have so many fucking follicles. You're mad fertile. It's crazy. I was like, thank you so much. Does that mean I can wait a little while? And he was like, you can wait a little while, but the quality of the eggs are going to go down even though you have so fucking many of them. And now I've put it off because I got insanely successful. And
Mad fertile, mad successful.
but besides my bad hip, I'm really living my best life, and maybe one day I'll sleep again and I can feel good. But I have to go to the doctor to freeze my eggs. I have to do it. This is
Yeah.
on my to-do list. I
Can
must
you
do
let
it.
us know how what it's like?
Well, I was
when
actually
you-
thinking about documenting the whole thing because I have no boundaries.
You should. I'm curious what it's like because I'm, at that point where I'm thinking about it too.
Yeah. All right. I'll schedule an appointment and I'll video the
I
whole
would love
thing.
to know how
And
it
I'll make
feels.
Alex
Yeah,
go
how it
with
goes.
me, and he'll be in the room as I get my ultrasound, my vaginal ultrasound. Sorry, I'm laughing so hard right now. I just subject my employees to constant sexual harassment through my content. It's funny.
You just gotta put it in the contract.
Right, exactly. But it's really funny because offline, I really try not to talk about anything related to that. But online, I talk about everything.
You're fine.
Should we do questions?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
This girl's tongue keeps cramping during activities. Do you guys have any tips? Personally, I don't struggle with that. I
breaks?
have incredible stamina. But
Personally. Actually, no.
But if
None of
you
us
guys
have
have
tips.
tips.
No tips. Never,
sorry,
never
we're all
experienced
perfect.
it.
We're all fucking great in bed, so we don't know.
I've not heard of it. Sydney, have you ever had tongue cramping in bed? Maybe drink more water.
Wait, Ashley,
Maybe
are you saying
water.
seriously you've never heard of that?
I've never heard of someone's tongue cramping. Is that an issue?
Yeah, of course. It's a muscle.
I've
It's a very normal thing.
Oh.
Listener who's writing in, that's
I
a very
apologize.
normal
I'm
thing.
not trying to tongue shame
I feel
right
bad now.
but
Yeah,
I
I didn't
just
mean to tongue
didn't.
shame
I thought
either.
you guys were joking. I've heard lots of people talk about that before.
Do you have a friend, Alayna, that has had tongue cramping?
Yeah, a friend of mine. Yes. But seriously, it's like a you hear about. It's like a strength and stamina thing. It's a muscle. If you're not used to using it in that way, of course it's gonna.
Well, then there's your answer. Use it more.
Yeah, it's practice. It's taking breaks.
Probably water.
Yeah.
But
It's like any muscle cramp.
yeah, but potassium. Maybe eat a banana.
Yeah, bananas.
But
Some pre-workout.
yeah, but I'm gonna guys, and now please, everybody's different. Everyone likes different things. Don't yuck a yum. But I gotta be honest. I'm keeping my tongue action. I'm not like putting a lot behind it. Like I'm not.
Well, there's your problem.
Yeah, whatever.
Are you using?
That's all you.
Are you using neck at all? Because neck and are you like pulling your partner towards you? Because you can get other ways to get strength without like.
That is true.
I'm
the other thing,
taking
is,
this
like, okay,
seriously
so
in a
if
way
you're-
that I don't think you guys are taking it seriously. I'm going to be honest.
no,
I think
no,
I think I'm being vulnerable right now.
Okay.
No,
I'm being
like
serious.
when I say take breaks, I mean like if whatever you're using is getting tired, there's other, take a break, switch to something else. There's so many different methods. There's different things, right? Neck. So, I've even heard someone say nose before.
Oh, nose
Oh.
is powerful.
I've heard that. Yeah. I've heard that.
What the fuck?
That like,
you
yeah,
serious?
if you can.
I'm wearing a varsity jacket, so I'm feeling like I need to be the jock of the episode.
Chin can also.
Oh yeah, chin.
You can provide some extra stimulation through chin. All I'm saying is, unless someone, maybe they have a reason that they need really, really strong pressure, but there's lots of ways that you can do that without having to like use your tongue for it the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also fingering.
I know I'm laughing, but seriously, I understand this being an actual issue. Maybe try to like pace yourself a little more. Like maybe you're
Yeah.
going into it too strong, too hard at first.
And it is practice.
I mean,
Like, you
everybody,
just
yeah,
gotta
everyone's
remember, it's a
different. I just
muscle,
can't
like anything
imagine like
else.
getting that worn down in your tongue. Should we do another question? That was quick.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's good.
My sister is texting me about the lesbian TikTok drama because she's more into it than I am, and my sister's straight.
Did something just happen?
Mac, am I allowed to talk about the drama, or are you going to get mad at me?
No, you can talk about the drama. I just
You
probably won't
expect us
input.
to believe that you booked a non-refundable cruise, didn't let anyone know about it?
They do expect us to believe that. Yes.
Here's a solution. One of you pay off the other person and bring a friend. Or both go and both bring friends and stay in separate rooms if it came to that. If you can't decide who gets the cruise and the breakup. But any good 30-something-year-old white bitch knows that you can call the manager and get credit back. Most companies have a one-time refund exception if you ask. And a lesbian breakup, I would say, is the time to ask.
Nope. I think the only reasonable next steps are to go on the cruise with your ex because you're forced to, and then make it seem like it's against your will. There's no other option. No other option.
This is all about sex. How to eat a girl out. I don't know.
I don't like this. I know you guys think that this is my thing, but my podcast is not my podcast. My other podcast, the one that we don't talk about.
No, you can talk about it. We should.
I
say,
know the comments
I
are also
can talk
coming
about it.
for your throat, Alayna.
Yes,
It's a
we
bit.
can talk about it. It's a bit.
It's a bit.
It's a joke.
We're joking. We're messing around with each other. But I actually like don't love like this kind of like it makes me feel cringe to do like specific like body because I'm not a sex educator. Like I really don't know this stuff. Like I just know what from my experience. But I'm a comedian. Like it's a comedy podcast. This is like you know, I don't know. It just makes me feel cringe.
Okay, I actually have a question.
What?
Oh, plot twist.
Because I think I made a mistake the other day.
Okay.
Let me pull up the question source. Okay, so I posted this TikTok. Okay, I think I made a mistake.
Okay.
I think I misunderstood a term.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to show you guys the TikTok. I'll play the audio and then explain what is going on.
What's
So it's the
TikTok,
audio.
son?
Us, I don't want to name names, make pretty bad throat noises when they drink. And it makes me think that the
Is
throat
it
is...
me?
No,
Is it me?
I remember this.
it's not
Yeah.
Travis.
I saw this TikTok.
I saw it as well.
This
Yeah.
is a trend, and you get it. You get the audio. So I said, this is the text that I put on the video. Something, I don't want to name names,
Make pretty bad
gives me just a little bit of gender dysphoria. I think I messed up with that term.
throat noises
Okay.
when they drink. And it makes
Okay.
me think
And then one of the interruptions is feminine features. And they say no. And then it says boobs. And then it says it's not feminine features.
Yeah.
So I think was my mistake. Because a bunch of the comments are like, oh, this is like the trans pipeline. Like, which first of all, I felt very invalidated by everybody just telling me that I was trans. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Not like, I don't like when people tell me who I am. I don't think anybody likes that. So for people to be on there like, no, you don't get it, like you're gonna be trans, like this is you on your way to being trans. That I hated that, but I think it partially was my fault because I made a mistake.
What's the
By
what's the
using-
mistake that you think? Like what
People
was
are
the
saying
mistake?
that because I use the term gender dysphoria, that's why people are mistaking it as me.
Cis
Okay, so
people.
they're saying that you cannot experience gender dysphoria unless you are trans. Is that what?
Yes,
Which a lot of
That
trans
was- yes,
writers,
that was the argument.
like philosophical writers around gender and stuff like that, negate that. Just FYI, like some of the most
Well,
prominent.
because I didn't think it was true because and I went more into detail about it in the comments, but like the point of the video, I don't want to get rid of my girls. Like I want them to stay. But the thing in the video was like when I'm wearing a t-shirt, I want it to be flat. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But like
Yeah.
if I'm naked and getting out with my girlfriend, I want them to be there.
Yeah.
Or like there are other times when I want them to be there. And so like a lot of people were joking in the comments like we want to zip them off and zip them back on kind of vibe. But people were taking that as, so did I make a mistake? I guess that's the question, Alayna. Can you be gender dysphoric? Can you have gender dysphoria
I think
without
absolutely.
wanting
my
to
understanding
transition?
is yes. I'm not an expert, but my understanding is yes, you can.
Yeah, it's
Okay, that's what I thought as well,
spectrum.
but people were telling me that I was wrong. But it might just be like chronically online.
No, because that would be them then trying to tell you that your experience was wrong because you are standing there and you are saying my experience is that I am not trans, but my experience is also that sometimes my boobs make me feel gender dysphoric. You are sharing, that's your experience. Nobody can tell you, like, there's
It's
no
also
way to
very-
say that that's wrong.
I think
because
they were
it's
mistaking
true.
me saying that I was not wanting to have boobs is equivalent to me saying that I want to be a man
Yes.
Right, so then that
Or
but that would be
non-binary.
their mistake.
or non-binary.
Yeah.
That's not on you. I don't see it's tricky because none of us are trans. So to sit here and have a conversation about
So
what's
trans
right, what's
listeners,
wrong,
write in. What do you think?
It's based on a faulty premise. Like our question of is this okay or is Mac wrong? That question is faulty because this is Mac's experience.
Yeah.
Like you're saying this is my way, this is how I experience my body, this is how I experience my gender. Nobody can tell you that that's wrong.
Someone's going to come and say this more eloquently in the comments, but I think the whole thing is that, like, that's about, like, your presentation, right? Like, that's about
Yes.
you in this outfit, like, feeling
Yeah.
yourself in a specific way. But then you can also not, that's not necessarily linked to your,
Gender identity.
and also your body, just feeling good in your physical body. Like what you're saying is like, I think this is a very interesting topic with lesbians in particular and queer people, because on the straight side of things, there are plenty of straight cis women who struggle with their tits, dude. They struggle.
Oh my
like,
God,
they struggle
so
with them.
many.
And feeling like this is where. But when we're in the queer bubble, you know what I mean? We feel we're liberated in a sense, and we're so liberated that we tell people how they feel sometimes.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't do
Yeah.
it, whether it's about transness or gayness or whatever. And look, I'm guilty of this. I've been at home with my main being like, that person's gay. But it's actually not productive. It's not helpful
Well, and,
for that
okay,
person's journey,
yes.
even if they are trans or gay. It's not helpful.
And there's a parallel. You just drew a perfect parallel that, like, you can be a non-queer person. You can be a like, I could sit here and not be gay, not be a lesbian, not be a woman attracted to women, and still be like, oh, I'm attracted to women sometimes. But that doesn't mean that I need to identify as a lesbian.
we go.
And it does. And if I don't identify as a lesbian, that also doesn't invalidate me feeling attracted to women
Yes.
sometimes, or whatever the situation. So you saying sometimes my chest gives me gender dysphoria
Yeah.
does not mean that you are trans, and it also, and because you're not trans doesn't mean that you cannot experience dysphoria.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. You nailed it. It's so
I
interesting.
think what Ashley was saying about people like telling other people what they are or trying to make assumptions about other people, like that's essentially
Also
what
just
was
not
happening to me
helpful.
on this video. Yeah. And I got stitches on it and all of this stuff, and people telling me like, look at these other lesbian TikTokers that said this and now they're all trans. It was so condescending to have people be like, you don't know it yet, but this is who you are. And I was
Right.
like, even if that was true, wouldn't it be my place to figure that out? Wouldn't it make
Yes.
me uncomfortable for you to push me somewhere where I didn't feel like I belonged, whether it's now or later?
Yes.
And that's not how I feel. So for
Yeah.
people to say that, it honestly, it just peeved me. Like, I hate when people in the community do stuff like that because it hurts different. Like,
Yes, it does.
I'm used to user 256 whatever telling me like, you just haven't had the right dick yet. But when people in the community
they know better.
try to make it, they do know better. That's
know
what
better.
it is.
Yeah, it's
But
interesting.
anyway, even if it's coming from a good place.
And it's also like, yeah, you gotta. It's not, and we're saying this as cis people, right? Like we
Right.
can't identify with this, and so I'm sure a lot of trans people do identify with what you were saying, and that's okay too. And
Yes.
isn't it such a beautiful thing that we can both identify with that and have experiences and share them and like be kind to one another? Yeah.
Well, and that kind of touches on, some folks might have a sense of like, well, you experiencing gender dysphoria while not being trans, maybe there's a feeling that this has taken away from, like, people see it like a zero sum kind of thing.
That happens
like, well,
with bi, like
Yes,
lesbians
yeah.
being
Yeah.
mean to bi
Yeah,
people
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
straight women who are experimenting, stuff like that. Yes,
we should all.
guys, let's just fuck. Let's just fuck.
I really don't feel like you made any sort of mistake by sharing your experience, your feelings, like that's part of your gender, whether your gender is trans or not.
Yeah.
A sense
I
of
guess that's
dysphoria
true.
at
Like,
times is
I
a
could
part
have
of it.
dysphoria in my gender being a woman and like wanting to be a woman with no boobs,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So that's okay. I think I just got my thoughts. I think I just compiled
Yeah,
them.
you landed. Yeah.
Yes,
Mac
yes.
has arrived.
I'm here, everyone.
But that's actually a really good that's another really good point, is that I think these people that are saying these things aren't realizing that they're playing into the exact boxes that they want freedom
Right.
from
Yes.
by trying to tell you that you not enjoying your chest inherently makes you not a woman
Yeah.
in some way. They're like, you are trans in one way or another. Exactly what you just said. They're
Mm-hmm.
trying to say that enjoying having breasts equals womanhood.
Uno reverse. Fuck you guys.
Well, I also think like going using straight cis people as an example, like there's so much also just in being a woman. There's also the added complication of just hating your body and like your curves and different things. Like there's that on top of it. You know what I'm saying? Like and the added complication of like, I know for me so much is about how other women whom I'm attracted to are perceiving me. Like I want to be perceived in a masculine way, and that is going to be inherently linked to people's perceptions of gender. You know what I'm saying? So like, still, that doesn't mean that I don't feel euphoric when I'm read as a woman, and I feel dysphoric.
Yes.
I feel so dysphoric when I get read as non-binary or a man. It like really fucks me up. It makes me upset.
You know how lesbians get the thing where they're like, people ask them if they're sisters or if they're friends?
Yeah.
I got a different one. Me and my girlfriend got, are you brother and sister or are you friends? There you go. It was really funny.
They're like, Mac, this girl couldn't possibly be dating this little twink, this little piece of shit, this dinky little dude here, this scrawny
your
ass
brother?
boy. This has got to be your brother.
That's hilarious. Alayna, you were going to say something.
But I'm still back on the serious train. Of course I am. But the other kind of Uno reverse option here is like, it's also valid for a trans person to love their body the way that it is. Like, the other Uno reverse is not having breasts doesn't make you any less of a woman, right? Like, you can do it all these. It can also go the other way, that a trans woman does not
Alayna.
need
I'm so glad
to
you said
have
this.
does not need to have any sort of gender affirming surgery, right? That's what they call them, but for this person it might not be gender affirming. That's the point.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a body that is any type of that fits any box in order to identify with the gender that you identify with, and you don't need to experience or not experience any sort of dysphoria to identify with the gender that you identify with, right?
Yeah. It's all, and it's so tied into like, there's like just so many different types of bodies, dude. Like, people's bodies are crazy. They're so different.
Yes.
Body is mad.
Have you guys ever looked at the Instagram account? I think it's called the Vulva Gallery.
That sounds cool.
No, but I'd like to.
Oh my god.
Son. Yes, son.
I think it's called the Vulva Gallery. It's an artist the Vulva Gallery, who paints or draws real vulvas. People come in and model for the artist, and
Wow.
you go through the page and it's just like, I mean, Ashley, you don't need to go to the page. You've seen enough vulvas.
What the
but
fuck?
for me and Mac,
wow, slut shaming me. Slut shaming me.
for me and
Alayna
Mac,
is slut
it's like-
shaming me.
eye-opening and like so validating and so comforting to be like, look at how different all of these vulvas look.
And I have seen vulvas and been like, I had no idea it could be that way, and still been
Yes!
like, let's fucking go.
Yes. You just nailed part of the problem, is looking at any vulva and going, I didn't know that it could be that way. Why don't we know? Because
I'm
we're
so
only
curious
shown,
about
Right,
that.
exactly.
I'm like
shown
gonna go
one
start that
version.
Instagram account. That's
Yeah, exactly.
so interesting.
But like, if you
The Vulva
we're
Gallery,
just
everyone,
so
look it
trained
up.
to separate these things out that you really don't realize how much more. And a lot of people are gonna read into this and be like, this is like a very Western, like, white representation of gender, yada yada yada. But like, our bodies have way more across sexes. They still have like an ass ton in common, and there are plenty of like really curvy male bodies, and like plenty of, you know what I'm saying, like the things that we're applying to it.
The way that we delineate is not real.
It's not
There
real.
is no actual hard line.
Yeah,
It's a spectrum.
exactly.
They fade into one another. There's
Exactly.
a gradient.
Well, this was like a crazy gender discussion from three cis white lesbians.
Mac, I do want to ask your pronouns, because you use she, her pronouns, she, they pronouns.
I just use she, her pronouns.
But
I mean,
but
like,
people
but
love
the thing
calling
is,
you they, dude.
well, it doesn't make
bother
me
you.
feel dysphoric at all if people use they, them. I
okay.
don't like when people use he, him, but like it doesn't. I don't get upset.
Please forgive me and correct me if I'm remembering this wrong. When we first started hanging out, I thought you had she, they pronouns in a bio somewhere, but maybe I'm remembering that wrong.
I don't think I did.
Okay, then that's on me. But so
That was so polite, Mac. I don't think that I ever dabbled with changing my pronouns.
Not that
No, I
you're
really
wrong.
thought-
Wait,
but
Mac,
I don't.
You don't mind when we call you our son and go when we're joking
Oh,
about you?
no.
Yeah, okay, good.
No, my girlfriend calls me like her boy toy and like her boyfriend all the time, and I love it. So
That's cute.
no, I asked because I really thought you identified with she they, and when we first met, I used they a lot, and now I'm like, okay, I apologize if that
It
wasn't.
doesn't like honestly. I
wasn't
would
right.
I would say she they because people use they, and it doesn't bother. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
fine with
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It doesn't make me feel euphoric, but
Yeah.
I don't not like it.
Mac, leave.
Okay.
We will close out the
Yeah.
episode.
Love you guys.
This was an episode of Chosen Family.
Thank you for listening.
Write in your questions on our Patreon, you cheap fuck. Patreon.com.
You can find me on YouTube mainly, but also TikTok, Instagram, at Miss Fender with 2 R's.
The only thing I care about is that you buy tickets to my live shows. Okay? AshleyGavin.com. Get on my text alert. I will text you when I'm in your area. It works internationally. Go do it. Okay?
She will let you know. She won't text you otherwise. And Mac, you can find Mac all over social media at Mac INGEMI.
Yes, and she's got a YouTube thing coming out soon. So,
Oh yeah,
Go.
a short film.
all right.
Thanks for listening. See you guys next week.
Chosen Family is a Forever Dog production, hosted by Ashley Gavin, Alayna Joy, and Mac INGEMI. Edited by Danny Jewell, executive produced by Mariah Nicholas. Forever Dog Productions is Joe Cilio, Alex Ramsey, and Brett Boehm.
Forever.